Yeah, this is part 2 of how to make a candy wrapper bag. So let's get on and finish the bag. So we've got the sides done, and now we're going to count this edge all the way around of how many wrappers there are. So from one corner all the way around to the other corner, and then we're going to add 2 more for the bottom corners. So this one, if you made it the same size as me, would be 29, and that's how many candy wrappers you can need to make the length of your bag. So that's this edge, I had the 29 wrappers, and this edge along here is going to be how wide you want the bag, so however big you want it, that's how many wrappers you're going to need. I used 17 for that one. So from this corner to this corner it was 17 wrappers, and the long way where it's longer I actually used 29. Yep, see, I even wrote it down so I remember. Yeah, so that edge from that corner, from the blue square there to the other one, that was 29. Okay, so once you've made that one, you want to make a smaller one that fits directly inside, and you want to make sure all the wrappers are facing the same way, so the folds are all facing the same direction, because it'll make it easier when it comes to actually sewing it all together. And then the middle part I'd actually already filled the holes in. So to sew these together, you're going to start off anywhere, doesn't really matter where, on the outer edge, and we're just going to tie the thread to the top layer. Again, I have no idea what I was going to say. Oh yeah, sorry. I didn't make any holes again, I was just going through the folds in the wrappers. I weren't creating any holes to actually sew this together. So you tie it on, and again at the end you can actually hide that tail part underneath one of the folds in the wrapper. Now if you've got all the wrappers facing the same direction, this bit is going to be a lot easier than when you actually sewed the squares in on the sides of the bag. So to start off with, you're going to go up this fold, you'll come out the top, and when you come up the top that should directly line up with the fold on the top zigzag. Then you come down that one, and then there should be a fold directly at the bottom of that. So you just go up and down, zigzag through it, and it will hold it steady. Make sure you pull it tight so there's no gaps in it. Now if you hadn't have made sure the folds are all in the same direction, then this bit would be a bit more tricky. The folds won't line up exactly, and you'll have to go back and forth on yourself, like go over the same spot like you did with the little squares, to make sure it stays in place. So that's pretty much what you have to do on the entire lot, and then obviously do it with the next ring inside until you've completely made one big candy wrapper panel. The only bit that is slightly different is when you come to the corners, because there is an extra gap that you have to fill. So the bit at the top there where you can see is like a slit, you will have to go back on yourself to make sure that is all covered up, so it's all sewn together. So for that I literally just went back and basically done a loop where that hole is, which you'll see in a sec. So I just went through this fold at the bottom. There's no perfect way of doing this. If you see a fold you think it'll hold in place, and thread it through that one. You don't have to go exactly the same way as I did. then once you've done that loop at the top and gone back on yourselves, you're back where you started, and then you can carry on just doing the normal zigzag sewing around the rest of the edge. Like I say, once you've done all the rings together, the panel will be complete. Then all you have to do is sew the sides to the main part of the bag. This is what it looks like when it's all done. Now we're going to sew one of the sides to the bag, so just line up with the top corner, and we're going to attach the thread to the side, and you want to make sure the thread ends up coming out of this corner, this bottom corner here. This bit gets a bit fiddly, but stick with it. You want to hold it nice and tight so they stay together and don't make any gaps in the side. We're basically going to go down one side of the candy wrapper and then up on the other, which will be, so you're going through both the front of the bag and the side of the bag. So you loop it around, so you go down the side of the bag and then through the main part of the bag and then back down through the side part of the bag. So you're basically doing a loop connecting both of them together. And you want to do that going all the way down the side of the bag. Okay, so once you've got down to this bottom one, you're going to start making the bottom of the bag. So you want to thread it through that bottom candy wrapper. Then we're going to fold this triangle up so that meets it. Then we're just going to go through that wrapper as well. Your first corner is going to always be a bit fiddly. Very fiddly project. If you use like nice candy wrappers and everything, it ends up looking quite good. I'm actually saving up crisp wrappers at the moment to make a bag, which is going to take forever because I don't actually eat that many crisps. I like chocolate. Okay, so once that's done, you're then going to pull up this bit a bit more to line up with the next pointy bit. Once you've got that first one in place, then this folds over nicely and then you can actually sew a bit better. So you're just going to carry on round until you've done that bottom bit and around the other side of the bag, and then you need to do the exact same with the other side of the bag, so you're sewing both sides on, obviously because one-sided bag would be useless. As I just keep a nice firm grip on the bag, you don't want any gaps because that makes it look a bit messy. And this is what it looks like when it's done. I have a separate tutorial showing you how to add handles. That is an old video and I will be redoing it at some point, just I haven't got any time at the moment, but it will be done. Okay, thanks for watching, bye!